What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome back to episode 6 of the San Antonio Marshals flashback franchise, where we are here at the beginning of the 2004 regular season, year number 2, and we are looking pretty damn good. 83 overall, 85 offense, 85 defense. We're coming off, 4 or 5 wins last year as an expansion franchise, maybe 6. And our team is shaping up, man. I'm very excited to see where the team goes this year. We got a lot of new faces. If you missed the off-season episode that came out a couple of days ago, I'll give you a quick synopsis, but probably should go check that out. But we did bring in Jason Peters. We got a brand new left tackle. We got a brand new left guard in Matt Stitchcomb. That, pretty much right-hand side of the offensive line remains the same. We still got Billy Miller as our tight end. Bradford. Our wide receivers remain mostly the same. Bradford and Stokely are going to be our big-time starters. We got Karsten Bailey here from Auburn, 76 overall, because he's a speedster with both 96, 96. As you can see, he's more of a sprinter than he is a receiver, so he's kind of a gimmicky type player. But everything is going to go and revolve around our stud, the #1 overall pick from last year, Andre Johnson, who's already developing one of the best wide receivers in football. We got He Hate Me, Rod Smart, as our starting running back, but we were able to bring in an excellent complement in rookie Michael Turner, who's a 75 quick. He's 237 pounds in comparison to Rod Smart, who's a speedster, and he also brings speed himself with 92 speed, 92 acceleration. We got Tony Romo as our starting quarterback. You guys in the comments wanted me to bring in Romo as our starting QB. We're undecided if he'll stay at number 16. Maybe he wants to, carve out a new role as number 16. You guys let me know what number you want. But you want to see Romo, and I'm giving you Romo. We're gonna test it out. We still have Kyle Bowler on the roster, though. Remember, 2 years ago in the draft, he was a potential first-round pick. Slipped to us in the 4th round. And every time we've played with him, he feels really good. So, phrasing for sure. But, there could eventually be a quarterback controversy. Right now, we'll go with Tony Romo as our starter. We brought in Greg Jones here in the draft as our starting fullback. Now, on the defensive side, pretty much remains the same. I like to think for most of it, the secondary is exactly the same. You got Aaron Glenn, Asante Samuel, Coleman, and Bronson at safety. We brought in Daryl Smith in the draft, 76 quick at Georgia Tech. Jamie Sharper, who's debatably our best player on the defense last year, still leads the middle of this core. We got Foreman, who's an 81. These guys, you see the high overalls. You're like, oh, C4, you're already in year 2. But a lot of these guys are old, and they're going to regress. So this is going to be like our best rating, I think. Next year, we're probably going to go down just a little bit. So we got to make the most of our opportunity. And when you look at the defense here, we got Osi Umenyiora, Gary Walker, Vince Wilfork, who was our first-round pick in the last draft. And we're also going to take Jared Allen out of Idaho State and have him start alongside Osi Umenyiora to make up a very good front four. And I'm going to be using Mr. Allen quite a bit when we hop in on defense. Special teams remains pretty solid. We got a 90 kicker in Chris Brown. Stanley is an 81. Really surprised that the 96-96 wide receiver Karsten is not our best return man. Anyways, we are here at week number 1 as we host the Miami Dolphins, and you better believe we're going to be opening up with this matchup here in episode 1 of the season. I love Tony Romo. Tony Romo's such a good player. All right, Ben, don't break. Come on. After the costly turnover from Tony Romo, the last thing we want is to give up a touchdown. And wow, what a play. Oh, let's go. That is a perfect route. Perfect touchdown. Don't know if it's made up for the terrible start so far, but I like the momentum that might have just been gained there from Tony Romo. Confidence is huge for a QB, and he finally got some. Oh, worst coverage of all time. Oh, Aquan Bolden wide open. Let's get a replay. Let's get a quick replay of that one. Let's see the coverage. All right, so you get it. Who's that? Don't say that's Aaron Glenn, my 90 overall. That's my 90 overall cornerback. Oh, this good coverage. Is this good coverage? Oh, let's go, Andre Johnson. Monster. He's a monster. He just trucked that guy midfield. Would not be denied. See, we don't need stupid Madden plays. If Jason Peters dies on the grenade or something, let's go. All right, first and goal. I hate this playbook. Whatever playbook we're using, like I haven't had Vince Wilfork. Like we're running weird. Like only 2 of my linemen are being used. Like, I haven't had Vince Wilfork, Jared Allen on the field yet. I don't think this game. A little bit of OCU manure, so I'm going to have to definitely look into fixing this playbook. Like, this is the first time I think I might have Vince Wilfork on the field. And look at that! His first snap! Jared Allen gets attacked for loss. I don't know what's going... Like I said, because we have a new coach, probably an old playbook, even though it says we're running a 4-3. I'm going to double check it, because right now, this is not good. But 3rd and goal on the 6. Come on. Bad don't break. Hold to a field goal attempt. Oh. Bring the pressure, and we get the sack. Daryl Smith, the rookie out of Georgia Tech, gets the sack, and it holds him to a field goal attempt. Let's go, Billy Miller. Billy Miller taking it up to the 21. A quick turnaround. So we're going for it, man. I'll tell you right now. We're going for the win. We're not going for the tie. We're not going for overtime. 1st and goal on the 6. 29 seconds to go. We're going to need a big play. Oh, let's go. Fired in. And he hits Andre Johnson for the hat trick. Best wide receiver in the NFL as the Marshals at home in the home opener take the soon to be 4-point lead. 24 seconds left on the clock. What can David Carr and the Miami Dolphins do with just 20 seconds? And with a huge game from Andre Johnson, the face of the franchise, while we had a lot of disarray on the defensive side of the ball where players weren't properly playing, we didn't get to see any of our young talent be showcased, which will be rightfully rectified in the coming weeks. Tony Romo caught fire after a horrendous start to the game, and Andre Johnson proving why he's the best wide receiver in football today. He went off. Tony Romo, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. The pick was pretty damn bad. He also had that fumble loss. We did not get a run game going either, which is a little bit disappointing. But the receiving game was on point. Billy Miller, 3 catches, 58 yards. Andre Johnson, 10 catches, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. Might be my favorite wide receiver I've ever played with here in Madden 19. On the defensive side, Jamie Sharper led the team with 7 total tackles. We had a sack from Seth Payne and Daryl Smith. And an interception at the very end of the first half was like a Hail Mary attempt from David Carr. Marcus Coleman was able to pick it off. But really, really good performance. What better way to start out the season where your aspirations are very, very high to make the playoffs in the 2nd year in franchise history than getting a season-opening win at home against the Dolphins. And in the fallout from week number 1, full credit to Mr. Andre Johnson, who is the week 1 AFC Offensive Player of the Week with that 10-catch, 180 yards, 3-touchdown performance. Looking around the league, Brett Favre got in the NFC. Jeremiah Trotter, who's for whatever reason, unfortunately on the Washington Redskins, and I have no idea who the dude is from the Chiefs. Going into week 2 against what might be the most overpowered roster in this save, the Green Bay Packers. As you just looked, Darren Sharper, they got 98 Catman, Amon Green, Brett Favre, Bubba Franks, Holiday, Hunt, like all the 90s, Donald Driver. And to a lesser extent, like their high 80s are still some very nice players. You got Javon Walker, Joe Johnson. It's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a very tough game. But I feel like with the momentum that we're able to carry forward from that opening day victory, we're going to make a game out of it against the very heavily favored Green Bay Packers here in week number 2. And that momentum did continue. A huge upset victory, a massive 4th quarter here from the Marshals to beat the Green Bay Packers on the road 35-31, almost 500 total yards gained on the day. Tony Romo, massive, just a career-defining game. Early in his career, 427 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Run game wasn't great, but we still get another touchdown there from Rod He Hate Me. Brandon Stokely, 8 catches, 140 yards and a tutty. Andre Johnson went over 100 yards. I'll take that every goddamn day. Jay Foreman led the team, 7 tackles. We got a half a sack there. No turnovers to speak of, but we moved the ball in offense. There was no answers from the Packers, and just like that, we're moving to 2-0. And we got a weekly award winner in back-to-back weeks. Week 2 AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Tony Romo for 427 yards, 3 pass tutties, showed some perseverance getting sacked 4 times. You love it. Week 3 against the Steelers, unfortunately, was a grindy game that we were unable to pull through, losing 28-14 on the day. Just Drew Bledsoe was too much, and Romo, one of those Romo performances, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions on the day. We didn't have a running attack. Not much going in the passing. On the defensive side, we got no sacks, no turnovers. All in all, just a very ugly game. The fact that we had 4 interceptions and we still were relatively in the game, good resiliency from this team. And 2-1's not a bad spot to be after 3 weeks. And with that week being done, we're able to take a quick look now at the 2005 draft class. What players are going to be available? Start to get those, on your guys' brains so you can start commenting what players you maybe want me to look at scouting further. I mean, when it comes to QBs, there's a couple big ones, but, are we satisfied with our current quarterbacks? But we'll just get them at least on our scouting board. Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers are bringing a lot of hype out of the Pac-12 this season, so I will make sure we can keep an eye on them. But outside of that, not a whole lot I really do think that we need to look at. Timmy Chang is, regarded as maybe one of the better passers from Hawaii. He put up a lot of big-time numbers, but I don't think we're too worried about that. When it comes to running backs, I mean, we did get Michael Turner, but that doesn't eliminate potentially getting a running back early. You got Ronnie Brown, Cedric Benson, Cadillac Williams as your, pretty much regarded first-round running backs. Beyond that, Frank Gore out of Miami. I mean, we have been drafting Miami players so far since we've been in here. Our first 2 picks. We got Vince Wilfork last year, and the year before that, we got Andre Johnson. So I've been maybe continuing to use that as a pipeline for us. Merlise Corrette had some issues. Wanted to leave school early. Ended up, having a whole lot of stuff going back and forth. But bringing a guy like Clarett could be interesting to shape up our backfield. You got Brandon Jacobs, built like a goddamn linebacker at 6'4", 267. But we already did bring that power in. Michael Turner. You got Darren Sproles. He definitely someone that we can keep an eye on here a little bit. Moving into the wide receivers. We're always looking at adding wide receivers. Braylon Edwards from Michigan State. Michigan, sorry, not Michigan State. Very interesting type player. Again, height, weight, speed. That's what he's going to be able to offer. Matt Jones, quarterback hybrid. There's something there. Roddy White from UAB, putting up a lot of numbers. Could be interesting. Vincent Jackson. Again, this is a good draft, taking that big outside possession type player. Vincent Jackson out of Northern Colorado. We definitely will keep tabs on him throughout the season. For the rest of the wide receiving class, not much there within the first 7 rounds. Tight end, I think we're pretty good at tight end with Billy Miller. You got Heath Miller there. I don't think they're related. Offensive line, let's just see here. Not super. Evan Mathis from Alabama. I mean, he's an interesting offensive lineman. Richie Incognito, we heard some positive things out of him. Nebraska, they've been able to churn out some NFL players that have had long careers, especially on the O-line. The other guard, our offensive line doesn't really need a lot of help to establish itself. I think that's definitely the strength of our team. But, we always will keep tabs. And like I said, we'll see what happens with Evan Mathis. On the defensive side, we have drafted fairly well here as well. Justin Tuck, you got Trent Cole. In the inside, can we find a guy that could potentially be a long-term partner with Vince Wilfork? Not really seeing a whole lot of names here jumping off the board, but we will do our due diligence throughout the scouting process. Going to linebacker, though, this is where I definitely feel like we can get younger. We got Sean Merriman, Dave Pollock. Both these guys have had really productive college careers as they enter their final year. But I think outside linebacker, that's definitely one of the positions. Just linebacker in general is where I want to try to get a little bit better here. Derek Johnson, Thomas Davis, Lofa Tatupu. Those guys could all come in, be potential upgrades. Looking on the other side, we got DeMarcus Ware from Troy, small school prospect. Barrett Root from Nebraska, more of a middle linebacker, tackling machine type. We definitely will keep tabs on them. When you go into the secondary, it's not regarded as a really good defensive back class, especially when it comes to the corners. There's a Canadian here, an OJ Atogwe. We'll make sure we keep tabs on him, but I would say right now, outside linebacker and maybe trying to get a little bit younger at safety should be the primary concerns for our draft boards. But, let me know. Let me know in the comment section what players you want us to continue to go down that scouting rabbit hole and identify as primary targets. Week 4 against Mr. Peyton Manning and the Colts. We're able to squeak out a victory 20-17. I will take that every day. Look at that, 3 turnovers on Peyton Manning as Tony Romo bounced back from a 4-interception performance to give us 335 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Again, run game just doesn't exist. Bradford had a nice game. Stokely and Johnson, they're all working. They're all firing on all cylinders. On the defensive side, we got a sack from Jared Allen. We got, what are the picks? 2 picks from Asante Samuels, emerging as one of the best young corners in football. Another pick there from Jay Foreman. You love to see that. as we are able to get another victory to move to 3-1 on the season. Week 5 coming up a little bit short against the Tennessee Titans in OT, 28-20, even though the score doesn't really show it. They battled. Again, we haven't really got blown out. We haven't, had that game, even though we had the ugly game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We still were kind of in it. And this loss, Tony Romo wasn't bad, 227, 2 touchdowns. Again, no, man, we got to get the running back attack going. I think I'm actually going to make Michael Turner our starter, see if that's the spark that we need. Bradford had a good day. Andre Johnson got another touchdown on the defensive side. We got a sack from Osi Umenyiora. We got a pick from Marcus Coleman, but too little, too late here, losing to the Titans in overtime. And in week number 6, falling short to the undefeated, now 5-0 Minnesota Vikings, 35-28. And it looks like we choked it in the fourth quarter, giving up 15 points to the Vikings. But, hey, we're still a young franchise. You got to keep reminding yourself that. Almost 400 passing yards on the day for Tony Romo. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Moving Michael Turner to our starter running back did nothing. On the receiving front, Bradford's going off. Andre Johnson, another strong performance. Billy Miller. We're firing all cylinders when it comes to that. Big day from Foreman and Sharper. We got 2 sacks from Gary Walker. Payne got 1. But too little, too late, man. That's a tough loss to choke one away against a team that is regarded as one of the Super Bowl favorites in Minnesota. But also coming out from a loss, which is very rare, we got another AFC Offensive Player of the Week award for Tony Romo and that near 400-yard, 3-touchdown performance against the Vikings in a losing effort. Oh, Jamie Sharper opening up Week 8 against the Browns with an interception at home in a goddamn tropical hurricane over here. Big-time pick. Let's go offense. Let's go, Romo. Put it in the end zone, bud. Okay, now I'm not going to hype him up this time. Just get your ass in the end zone, bud. There you go. Oh, there's another. Tim, take a knee. Take a knee. Tim Couch is terrible. Oh, let's go on. Get off him. Get off. He's the best. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't know how many times I got to tell you that. He's uncoverable. Oh, here's second and goal on the 4. Let's see if Turner, this is going to be ridiculous. If I get this in, he has like 2 touchdowns and like 2 yards. Something ridiculous like that. We're not blocking very well, but, when we get in the red zone, that's all that really matters. And just like that, we got the job done. Wasn't super pretty, but a win's a win at this point. And shout out to the defense, offense. I mean, we didn't have the ball a whole lot, but Tony Romo, 6 of 6, we'll take it. He's perfect. 2 touchdowns on the day. Michael Turner, Andre Johnson, 4 for 133. And a touchdown defensively. Antoine Harris led the team with 6 tackles and a sack. We had 3 picks. Darrell Smith, Zach Bronson, and Jamie Sharper all getting those turnovers. As in Week 8, we get a nice little dub, 20-10 over the Browns. And with that victory, it is time to wrap up the episode as we finish out 4-3 halfway through the season, and we're definitely trending in the right direction. We are right in a battle for the AFC South lead. Going to be very, very competitive, very, very interesting down the stretch, but that is for another episode. So as always, guys, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed, and until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit when you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your bitch. Here comes a monster to scare all you kids. Y'all scared, what you running from? Y'all scared, what you running from? Y'all